tonight we're going to share the Central Valley Math Bridge project with you. In the spring of 2024, the Central Valley Higher Education Consortium, CVHEC, they invited some of our site principals to a meeting to talk about math. And I also attended the meeting, and they really have identified, which I think that we all know, that math is often the obstacle that keeps kids out of going to college and keeps kids from being successful in college. So they wanted to try some research to see if they could solve that problem by increasing math support in high school. And they started the project in Dinuba, and they'd already run it there before they came to Merced County to try to recruit some of our schools. So we had 4 schools sign on that first year. And then shortly after we got going, Stacey Cool came on, so she's going to tell you more about those 4 schools. But Stacey really helped set the structure for all of our schools and the math teachers involved in their collaboration with Merced College and Central Valley Math Bridge. She also has played a huge role in the data sharing. She reports data to Central Valley Math Bridge, to Merced College, back to our teachers. And then she also has really helped lighten the load as far as the research demands go. So I want Stacey to share that project with you guys tonight.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Peterson, Cabinet. Tonight I'll be presenting, as Mandy said, an overview of the Central Valley Math Bridge and the early successes we've had so far with the program. Get my little slides here. The Central Valley Math Bridge program aligns high school and college math pathways, creating a smooth and supported transition for students. College Bridge has partnered with Central Valley Higher Education Consortium, CVHEC, Fresno Pacific University, and the RAND Corporation to develop this model with colleges and high schools throughout the valley. Central to their mission is removing barriers and expanding opportunities. CV Math Bridge provides a credit-bearing academic intervention that strengthens students' math skills while preparing them for college success. And it's funded in part by strategic grants, including the We Will K-16 Workforce and the Education Collaborative Grant through the 2027 school year. The program works by identifying high school students who are struggling in mathematics, designing targeted interventions that blend high school and college coursework, and facilitating collaboration between high school and college faculty to continuously review student work and improve instruction. So by giving students access to college-level content while still benefiting from the support of their high school instructors, CV Math Bridge bridges the gap between secondary and post-secondary education. And the partnership between the faculty at both levels ensures students gain the confidence, preparation, and guidance that they need to succeed. So as part of our current partnership, students have the opportunity to earn college credit for Math 10, which is elementary statistics at Merced College. And this is a course selected based on job growth trends, its relevance across a wide range of college majors, and its accessibility to high school students. As you know, Merced Union High School District requires only 2 years of math for graduation. As a result, some students, particularly those who are not confident in math, choose not to continue past their sophomore or junior year. When those students move on to community college, they often delay their math until late into their degree program, creating a gap of 3 or more years since their last math course. CV Math Bridge addresses this directly. In the fall, students enroll in a dual enrollment course focused on pre-college level statistics, building foundational skills and addressing areas of weaknesses. Then in the spring, they receive college level instruction 3 days a week from either a Merced College math instructor or a qualified MUHSD teacher, with the remaining 2 days dedicated to continued skill building and support from their MUHSD teacher. This structure gives students significantly more support than they would have enrolling in the course at Merced College on their own. Students who complete the program successfully earn credit for Math 10 elementary statistics, and this is the required math course for many of the majors you see represented here on the diagram on the screen. So you can see registered nursing, ag business, history. This course touches a lot of majors. So the goal of this collaboration is to reach students who discontinue their math path before graduating, not those already on a path to higher level courses like AP statistics or calculus, but students who only take the minimum math required to graduate. The eligibility criteria shown on the slide were developed with that audience in mind, created in partnership with the Central Valley Math Bridge team, MUHSD math teachers, and high school counselors. To identify eligible students, we took a structured approach. Goldie Vang, our data and testing coordinator, and I built a master list of every current junior at each school site, pulling their GPA and 3-year math course history. From there, site teams composed of math teachers, counselors, and administrators reviewed the list and identified students who met the agreed upon criteria. Those students were then personally invited to attend MathBridge info sessions hosted at each school site by MUHSD staff and the MathBridge team. So as Mrs. Ballinger was saying, the last year marked our first year in the program, and across 4 high schools, Atwater, Buhack Colony, Golden Valley, and Livingston, 121 students enrolled in the pre-statistics course in the fall. And of those 121, 101 successfully earned college math credit. And those are students who, without this program, would not have taken a math class their senior year at all. We're now in our 2nd year, and the growth's been significant. We've added our 2 remaining high schools, Merced and El Capitan, and we've more than doubled our fall enrollment. So all 6 schools are now participating, and 226 students are currently on track to earn college math credit this year. So this slide walks through the full journey from recruitment to current enrollment. We began with an eligible pool of 782 students based on GPA and math history. Of those, we were able to get 529 to attend an information session, which is a strong turnout. Of those, 309, which was nearly 60% of the attendees, completed an interest form, and then 256 ultimately enrolled in the fall. We had 239 pass that fall semester, and 226 are still enrolled this spring. So as you can imagine, many factors influence whether a student moves from initial interest all the way through spring persistence, but we're really pleased with our retention rate so far, and we have concrete ideas on how to improve and expand the program for the 26-27 school year. So beyond the numbers, the testimonials on this slide reflect something equally important: the confidence and perspective students get along the way. Statistics is a course with real-world relevance, helping students make sense of the data and information they encounter every day, not just in school, but throughout their lives. And so building on this success, the next stage in our partnership focuses on students who have completed Integrated Math 3, but aren't quite ready to move on to pre-calculus. So at the end of this month, we're participating in a Merced Regional Math convening at Merced College. And it's going to bring together the Merced Union High School District, surrounding districts here in the county, Central Valley Math Bridge, and Merced College to map out a path forward for students who need additional support in higher math, and to ensure more students enter college ready for a STEM pathway. So the CV Math Bridge program is proof that when high school and colleges work together with a shared purpose, we can meet students where they are, open doors that they may not have known were available to them. And starting with 121 students at 4 schools has now grown to 226 across all schools in just 1 year. And we're just getting started. Thank you.
Stacey, I've been asking a lot about data for mathematics, and so
and you've had us scrambling on that.
Yeah, but I appreciate it because it spells out. Yeah, we're doing everything we can to encourage our students to stay in that math program and experience math at different levels. So, kudos to both of you. I really appreciate the data that you guys were able to bring and show what we're doing at the high school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, we you know, a lot of credit goes to the math instructors. So it's either taught in tandem with a community college instructor, or if they have their master's degree and are qualified, our teachers teach it solo. And they tell me that they work hard to recruit the students and to keep them in that class. So the fact that we had so few drops from fall to spring and so many kids pass was just a credit to them, talking them into staying in it and seeing the value.
Excuse me. Is this something that counselors are very aware of and can suggest for students as well, or does it come directly or exclusively from math teachers?
100% they're involved. So when Math Bridge, when we first started, in fact, my very first meeting was here at Livingston High School. The Central Valley Math Bridge team insisted we invite every math teacher and every counselor so that everybody was aware of the program. Moving forward, that scales down, and we usually have one counselor as a point person, but they wanted to make sure that every math teacher and every counselor understood and could promote that towards students.
Well, I think it's really exceptional, and I appreciate you explaining it so well this evening, because I have previously said I'd really love to see our students complete 3 years of math. But I do think that there are a lot of students, and even students with higher than a 3.4 per se, who struggle with math, right? They may do very well in reading or English and history and whatnot, but they struggle in math. So, and then we also tend to come upon the issue with seniors too, where they need an extra class, and this might be just the thing to, really help support them too. But this is fantastic. I think it's a great, the need that you've identified, our students getting to college, being, behind or not having freshened up on math for so long. So thank you for helping spearhead this.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the 3.4 GPA criteria, it's a hard number by the RAND Corporation. They're sponsoring the research and they're tracking the persistence rates. So hopefully in the next few months, we'll be seeing what's happened to that first year of cohort students, those 101 students. And so, but we identified, like you, Mrs. Ham, that there's some students who have a 3.6 or a 3.7, but when we look at their math grades, they're just getting by. And so we even captured a few of those, even though they're not going to be included in the research study. And the guardrails are going to be coming off that research study here in the next year, and where we'll be widening it to, we're already not turning kids away, but, widening it to even greater capabilities.
So does the RAND Institute control all of this really? And does funding disappear, or what?
Well, there's multiple sources of funding. And one of the things I'm working with the Central Valley Math Bridge folks on now is what happens when they leave. And they've realized they need to do a little more work on the persistence. I mean, we already have a great relationship with Merced College, so I'm pretty confident that we'll get there. But we also have a lot of qualified math teachers who can do this course, whereas some of the smaller districts like Dos Palos and things like that, they need that Merced College math professor to come out. And we need that very rarely right now. And that's to the credit of the educational level of our teachers.
CV Heck also. CV Heck also had a project where they paid for our teachers to get their master's degree in an upskilling project. So we had several of our math teachers take advantage of that. So I think one of the great things about this project is it's scalable. And when the RAND Corporation and the College Bridge group go away, we have that relationship with Merced College where we'll still be able to continue it, especially now that we have so many math teachers.
Yeah, that was the mention of the Fresno Pacific as part of that partnership. And yes, we had a fair number of math teachers take advantage of that and are finishing up their masters this year.
Ms. Cool, can you clarify how we get students into this program? I know that you say you identify them, but can you clarify just a little bit more on how that happens?
So what happened at the very beginning is Goldie Vang and we just took every single junior, because we're targeting seniors, future seniors. We took every single junior, we ran their GPA, and we ran their 3-year math history along with the grades they got. So what was their grade in integrated 1, integrated 2? Did they stop there? And so from that list, we provided it to the high schools, to the counseling and admin teams, and the math departments, and we filtered those lists there. Like I said, we were looking for students who had a 3.4 or below, We were filtering out kids who were on a path to calculus. That was not our target audience. So even if they had a 3.4, but they've got integrated math 3 with an A, kid, we want you to keep going on to pre-calculus. So trying not to interrupt those, so we'd filter them out. Students who were, still finishing up their math requirements were disqualified, but that was very few at this point. And so, yeah, we were left with about 780 students district-wide who met those parameters. And then every single one of them was invited to an information session. And so of those 782 future seniors, we got 529 of them to actually show up. Or actually, I should say the school sites did this because they're the ones who had to manage this and invite everybody.
So then, who is it that invites them or gets them invited to this
To that
presentation
session? So usually I think at most of our cases, it was our associate principal of counseling in tandem with the counselor would invite them, and then the math bridge folks would come out and do a presentation about careers in the Central Valley and the majors at Merced College that accept Math 10, and hey, you're going to be done with your college math requirement if you take this class. So they would come out and do those sessions at each of the school sites.
Got it. Thank you.
So that's been a huge bridge, so to speak, in doing this.
What is the class called at the high school?
It's called dual elementary statistics DE for dual enrollment. So, and we did have a probability and statistics course, but we've pretty much supplanted that at most campuses, I think, as of this school year. We have not supplanted AP statistics. That is still available to students who want that path.
Any other questions, discussion? Thank you, Ms. Cool.
Thank you so much.